go here.
All right, so this is the new and improved and updated and official table for the test. Bless you. So I kind of scribbled a bunch of different stuff on the board the other day about that. Or yesterday, I guess. Yesterday? Yesterday, yeah. All my troubles seem so far away. So I don't think I've really put anything different, except I did add a few things here like bio and phytoremediation, whereas before I think I just had bioremediation up there. I'd added birth defects. I think that I may not have noted that before. That's present in both of these. All of these have a potential. You know, the different things have different potential. Even for cancer, you have that, but they have a higher potential with, for example, radioactive organic pollutants and things like that. So, pretty sure that's very close to. Some of I took out, so I just put the two top ones up here for examples of waterborne illnesses, that kind of thing. And you know, by the way, you know, obviously you get biological poisons from a whole variety of disease organisms. I focused on the ones that were from anthropogenic impact of water pollution. You can make arguments about anthropogenic impact causing mosquitoes to grow more, and therefore the effects of malaria and other mosquito-borne illnesses. But I decided we don't need to go into that detail stuff. We might talk about that some when we talk about global climate change. But for this sake, for your biological, obviously there's a lot of things in nature that can poison you, but the main ones we see caused by human impact and overpopulation and things like that is your waterborne illnesses. All right, radioactive center. So like I said, pretty much the same as it was before. Notice manufacturing and disposal regulation. That's just, that I think I put containment before, but that's basically when you're making things from these substances and when you're done with them, their disposal, you have to very highly regulate it and keep an eye on it and oversight and those kind of things to make sure these substances aren't getting out in the environment. And then we talked about different things, LD50, a rating of it, and the chronic versus acute toxins. And by the way, most of your organic and your heavy metals, typically people's exposure to that is a chronic problem, whereas your biological, it gets sick, it's, you know, boom, right there, it's acute. And this radioactive can be a little bit both. Probably more actually like with radon, a chronic exposure. So most of these things are chronic toxins. Different ways you can get into your body, and then the different classifications based upon the main effects that they have, carcinogenic, cancer causing, etc. So no questions about that, right? All right, I add a few pictures. Now these are just kind of a supplement. You know, you're not going to be, for example, you're not going to get questions specifically from this. Okay, I want to make sure you guys are clear on that. You're not studying this. But this just shows you some of the ways that you get contamination. So usually I'll say that you know, you do need to know none of the diagrams in any of this. Well, I'd say with the exception of the landfill design, although you could know it from the text, that would be good to know, but otherwise you don't need to know specifics off of any of these diagrams. I did want to show you a couple of them. For example, we talked about waterborne illnesses, and the big thing that will determine how much typically a population is going to suffer from these particular things is how well is their water supply managed. In other words, can they test it, disinfect it, etc., those kind of things. And then what is done with the wastewater? Is it collected, treated, disinfected, etc., before it gets out? And that's of course that's what's going to go into and come out and therefore spread these kind of diseases. And so as you might imagine, this is 91 to 100% is the blue there. So we've got the United States, Canada, you know, your developed nations. Some don't, for some reason they don't have data for these different things as well. And then the same thing, of course, for your sanitation. So not too much in the way of surprises there. It just shows you the big factor there is can you treat your water before the people consume it, and can you treat or at least separate and keep away the wastewater from the drinking water supply or from exposing it to people when you're done with it. And that was it for that. Okay? Questions, anybody?